Hello, everyone. Welcome to GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week in the Brandon Jones chair is Elise Willems.
Hi, guys.
And Daniel Bloodworth.
I'm not in the chair as well, but hey.
And Michael Damiani.
I was thinking exactly what Daniel was thinking.
What, I needed to do like an Oxford comma?
Something, yeah, the way you worded that sentence. We were all in the chair.
You're all in Brandon Jones' chair.
We're all Brandon Jones
For people
today.
listening as a podcast, that'd be like a really funny visual. Just stacked guests. I forgot to mention that you are all uniquely talented and knowledgeable too.
How dare you?
How dare I? So welcome to GT Time. Elise, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, if you are listening, we are all in the chair. So,
And we're all wearing super funny hats.
yeah. as is tradition.
Just Kyle.
Every single week we're wearing funny hats. Elise, are you excited for Gamescom?
I think Gamescom is becoming more and more adept at like breaking news and announcing games. So I think there's going to be stuff coming out of it that in past years there hasn't been.
Yeah, I'm in like this rare excitement mode for next week. I think like it's weird that there's both a Sony and Microsoft press conference. But what's the deal? Is it going to be huge?
I've been telling people for years that Gamescom is getting bigger and bigger, and yeah, it's important to pay attention to. So. Microsoft having a press conference is different. EA, for a while, I thought EA wasn't going to do a conference because I kept looking at their page and like, nothing. This is next week. I guess they're not doing one. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, guys, we're doing a conference, by the way.
Yeah.
But they're doing it at a totally different time, like right before the show starts instead of, usually they do theirs in the afternoon and then Sony does theirs in the evening. And now Microsoft is kind of taking that earlier part of the day. I didn't really look at like where they are. Usually they're like right across the street from each other.
You're saying Microsoft took EA's spot?
Sort of. Yeah. There's the 1 year too where Capcom had a press conference with Remember Me and stuff. That was interesting.
That is interesting. Man, I wish Capcom would do press conferences again.
But yeah.
Damiani.
They don't have money to do a press conference. They're poor.
Oh, there he goes again. So actually, let's do our corrections and clarifications before we get into the news. This week, no clarifications, but I have a question from the comments. This is from KMN100. The question is, Damiani, where that Metal Gear timeline?
I think that's my answer is silence.
Your answer is silence?
Yeah. No
Damiani, where that Metal Gear timeline?
I've been answering this question so many times, but okay.
Yeah, I get asked this a lot.
We've never discussed it. Let's publicly just. What is the deal with it?
Can we say it's coming when it's coming?
You can say it's coming when it's coming.
No, things got held up. I mean, do we want to tell the whole truth?
Yeah, tell the whole truth. I think
So
that's
I
I
interesting.
think I've already told.
Yeah,
the whole
I think
truth,
we've
but,
kind of
yeah.
told it, but if people who don't know, because they're still asking, even
Yeah.
after this, people are still going to ask.
Yeah.
But
Even on Twitter, people are asking me about it.
Is
Yeah.
it because you've been playing Tales of Xillia 2?
No, actually, there's no bearing on it. So it was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen last fall,
Right.
first of all.
Yeah.
But then people decided to focus double down on next gen live coverage. So
Who are people?
we'll just say people.
Sure. All right.
And
I never thought it was a good idea to just jump out and say it's going to come in the fall. Fall's a rough time for that.
yeah, I mean, we've done it before. Like we did Kingdom Hearts right before E3 because we'd planned it and we'd done one before, so we kind of knew the process.
Yeah.
And this being the third one, we really knew the process for this. So the problem was people who do the graphics for it are in high demand. And so they needed to be put on those projects for those the live coverage of the launch of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So I was told, no, you can't have them. You can maybe work on it starting in December or January.
Because a big part of timelines are your sweet CG graphics that sort of
Yeah,
show.
well,
Yeah, right.
those guys really love them. They're
Yeah.
really good and they do really good work. And
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing them. We'll just say Zelda set a bad precedent for the grand scale of those.
Intense CG, yeah.
So, I never asked for that level of graphics, but those guys just ran wild.
Yep,
and they had all that because no one was supervising them for a while. So anyway, it's supposed to happen last fall. Something took priority. It got bumped to spring. Then in spring, we found out what was going on with game trailers.
Hold on, you skipped ahead. At what point did you make the trailer? There was a trailer that was CG.
Okay, so there was a trailer for the fall release, and then a week after that, we were told, "Oh, sorry, timeline can't happen this fall.
Okay,
you got to shoot for spring." So we're like, "Crap!" We announced that. So then we put out a trailer in spring saying, "Oh, it's gonna happen in May. That's 2 months away. That's all we need to do it." And then the day after, internally, we found out, "Oh,
You're right. It was the day.
It was
after.
the day after we found out. Yeah, there's some changes that are going to be happening. We don't know when they're happening, and I was like, man, I don't know if this is a good idea to do this with like this uncertainty, because I don't want people busting their ass off to work on this and then we're cut off at some point and it like never happens. Like that's too demoralizing for the people who are working on it. And the other part of
Although
it,
you did capture every single Metal Gear game.
yeah, because that part's easy, and that was like in case someone like said like, hey, you guys are gonna like we're cool till like August or September or something. All right, well, we got the footage. Let's do this. It was like a precautionary thing.
Yeah.
And as Daniel said, we do have the footage. So as soon as we decide what time we want to do it, it's pretty much ready to go.
That part wasn't easy. I watched you play through every single Metal Gear game, even the PSP one.
And the graphic novels and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Will it come out before Phantom Pain?
So that's the thing. So I'll be honest here. Like originally we were shooting for spring. When that didn't happen, there was a slight chance it might have been like summer, but because things kept getting pushed back, and now when we finally had everything finalized, it was like this. Okay, I need to rethink when this is going to happen, because now it's like we're very like smaller staff now. We're very taxed out. There's no way this can like happen right now with this stuff. I would like to do it leading into Phantom Pain. I think the rumor is that's coming out next March. I think we'll find out at Gamescom, which is why I'm kind of excited for Gamescom, if you're going to get to me to ask about that.
Nice.
So hopefully, if that's the case, we can convince some people to hire some some extra staff to come help us and make that happen for next March. But if we don't get extra people to help work on that, that's probably not happening, because it's just way too big of a project.
I appreciate that complete answer.
So
That is so much more helpful than the silence. You know what I mean?
we have
You just did everything.
Some of the script is written.
Yep.
Capture's all done.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing with the effects. It's just we need the time and the people to do it.
Resources,
Yes.
yeah.
Metal Gear timeline right to your congressman.
Yes.
And the Diablo retrospective probably won't be as far off, but it's in a similar situation where you
Yeah.
at least have to move,
Yes.
and then figure out what happens once
Like,
we're in
yeah,
a
larger-
permanent space.
Larger scale projects are kind of like on hold right now
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
And like even like Pop Fiction, like with how much we have like to do now, like hitting a month is still a lot of like work now. So I decided like Pop Fiction is probably the one that people want to see more right now. Okay,
That's
never-
not true.
That's not true. Let me say, Pop Fiction is the one I can deliver
Yeah,
with the help of
exactly, yeah.
like Dawn over here, who's our
Right.
amazing editor on it.
Yeah.
With the with the work we do and everyone else who contributes, like that's something we can still do. And I think something like Timeline, like I would be worried that we'd be compromising the quality if we had to do it right now with what we have. Or it would compromise our other work. Like we'd have to like stop working on other stuff. And
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, any of those long-term things, I mean, they take time, and as it is, like these guys are cutting 2 or 3 things a day each.
Yep.
And if you go on one of these projects, that eats up 3 days at least. So yeah, it's tough.
Timeline's weeks.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop staring inward, though. Let's
Yeah.
move on to news in the video game world.
Ooze. I was just gonna say, like, I'm also kind of a little like tired from this whole ordeal. I need time
What
to
world
recuperate.
ordeal?
The whole like Defy move and stuff.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
needed time to recuperate before I could put energy into it.
People are noticing like a visible depression in my demeanor on Final Bossman, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta put a smile on my
Don't
face.
be depressed.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go to happier things.
Okay, happier things. I love a game announcement. This week we had a game announcement:
Sweet.
Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Rouge.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh yeah, you're not pumped about Assassin's Creed Rogue?
This was
It's not really an announcement because the thing leaked like what February or March or something like that.
Yeah, this is how Ubisoft does it. It's all planned. You leak it, leak it, leak it, leak it. We don't officially announce anything anymore. We leak it. You get happy, then we confirm it.
One of the first episodes of the show, we talked about Assassin's Creed Comet.
Comet.
How do you get Rogue from Comet?
No, I mean, come on.
Rogue
It's like
Comet?
saying why is the GameCube called the Dolphin? I mean,
But this is it, right?
Oh,
This,
don't make
this is
sense.
Comet.
I know.
Do you think Comet leaked? Do you think that was
the Wii U is a cafe.
I know. That was a cool name.
Project Cafe? Yeah, it was a cool name. It should have been named Cafe. So anyway, Damiani, back to
Yes.
what you just said about you don't believe any leaks. Do you think Comet, that we knew about a thing called Comet, was intentional?
Oh, you mean I don't believe that like leaks are leaks, that they're orchestrated?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that's probably like a lot of marketing and PR done that way now. It is see how organic and viral that is. So they're like, let's just like give it to this fan site. Hey, I am a person who knows something. You just got to report on this, and it's totally true, but you got to say it's from an anonymous source. and it's going to spread like wildfire.
Or it could be more subtle.
And then you're
They
going to
could be booking a flight for a press person and then put themselves on the seat in front of them and then just leave their laptop open for a long time.
No, that's insane.
That's
you
cool.
two are being
Espionage.
insane.
Yes.
You're being insane.
They're like,
The briefcase under the seat.
they're at the
and then
public
walk
phone. Do
away,
they still have public
take
phones?
the escalator.
They still have public phones.
they
yes.
call them up like, just come down here in 5 minutes. And there's like a packet for Assassin's Creed Comet. And it's like all the details. And it says like, do not reveal.
So anyway, to explain to everyone who hasn't heard about Assassin's Creed Rogue this week, this is a game only for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, not even PC. My question to the panel, is this the ideal way to handle this cross-generational gap that we're in right now? Elise, what do you think?
I think it's incredibly smart because if you're a big Assassin's Creed fan, you're going to buy both next-gen and last-gen titles. You're not going to think, well, I have a PS4 now, so I'm just going to stick with next-gen. No, you're going to get both of them. And then for the people that do still have last-gen, play Assassin's Creed Rogue, love it, they're going to be more inclined to buy that next-gen console and buy this game because
It's a whole
why
other
wouldn't they?
game, right.
It's such a strategic marketing ploy. I love it.
You love it.
I love it. I love it for its merit and for how smart it is. But if I was really into Assassin's Creed, it would sort of irk me.
We should have asked Megan. I don't think she's irked. I think she's excited to play 2 Assassin's Creed games.
Maybe probably, and that's exactly what Ubisoft wants her to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, from a consumer standpoint, it's a little like I don't think I can deal with 2, especially if I'd have to review both of them. Hopefully, I can pawn one of those off to somebody else. But I think that it's from a development standpoint, it's a good choice because it doesn't hold back the people that are working on the PS4 and Xbox One versions. Like they can focus on the power that affords them and let them go wild with that as far as they can push it without having to make all of these compromises like, well, okay, we have to always consider like what the Xbox and 360 and PS3 can do, So instead it's like, okay, one team, you guys handle the old platforms, the other team handles the new platforms, and you don't have to worry about compromising your vision in that case.
So, Blood, when you said pawn one of them off, I assume you mean pawn this one off. Right? You want to review Unity and make someone else do Rogue. Do you think this is going to be your runt
game? I don't know.
game?
We'll figure out which one it looks. I mean, we don't know much about this other than it just seems to be like following up on Black Flag in terms of gameplay and story.
Right. We have screenshots, but no like gameplay yet.
Right.
We don't know much about this game so far, but
we really don't know that much about Unity either. Really.
Which one would you say that you are more enticed to play at this moment in time?
I don't actually really know. I mean, Unity hasn't struck me as being like, oh wow, like I'm not that into the multiplayer aspect of it.
You're a rogue.
Are
you saying you're a rogue? You're a rogue then.
I don't know, but Rogue sounds like it's gonna just fill in the gap of a story we already kind of know. But it's weird.
I guess in this game you're a former assassin and now you're a Templar. That's pretty cool.
But that's why I wish we had Megan here because is this just Hatham?
No, it's a new dude.
It's a new dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's a new dude that's just like Hatham.
I guess so.
That's
He's like-
filling
he's
in the
like
same
5
time
names.
period as Hatham.
His name's like Jason McCoy, like one shop. Right? He has like 5 names.
Hold on, did you switch into Irish as you said his name?
He's Irish.
McRae. All right.
He's super Irish, and it's ridiculous. And I can't imagine playing that game without I would start talking like that as I was playing it.
Yeah, we have a deficiency
So much
without
fun.
Megan in this conversation. But
Well, we don't. I mean, Damiani,
Damiani.
how interested in this are you? Like, do you think it's... Well, first of all, it's weird that this game was announced in August if it's coming out a couple of months later. Do you know? That's a strange thing. And I think, honestly, they're focusing on Unity. To me, the fact that this isn't even available on PC when it easily could have been is that just they don't want it confused on separate markets. Damiani, what's your stance on all that?
I mean, honestly, I think I kind of echo at least the sentiment that it's a smart move. That one, if you're going to get the average, no, not the average, but there are some fans out there who are going to buy both because they just want to play every Assassin's Creed game. At the same time, not everyone has adopted the current gen consoles. I know you don't like me saying current gen versus whatever the hell number it is, 8th gen, 12th gen.
Yeah, I mean,
gen.
Damiani,
Have to have this debate every
a new
time.
game was just announced for what you would call last gen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they're still doing that because we're still only a year into. if you don't count Wii U,
Yep.
into Sony and Microsoft's consoles.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
like we're only hitting the year mark soon,
Okay.
about when these are coming out.
Yep.
So not everyone has adopted yet.
Yep.
So they understand that some people might take a little bit longer, and they don't want to like lose those sales. Those are sales they could still have if they just had something to offer to those consumers. So why not put out a game that's specifically just for 360 and PS3, nothing else? And that's probably the fact that probably not putting it on PC is exactly what you said. Like, oh, Unity is the one you're going to be getting on PC. We don't need to put this on there
Right.
to confuse people. And I think there's a good sized chunk of the consumer base that has not adopted the PS4 or the Xbox One and don't intend to for at least another few years. And they still need games. Otherwise, they're just going to go somewhere else. And how are you going to get them? Oh, we're still making games for that system. Don't worry. And you liked Assassin's Creed? Here's another one. Don't worry. We're not forgetting about you. You're still good. And as Daniel said, I do agree that it's good that they're giving them different development teams so that Unity is, for the current gen, it's not being held back by the restrictions like Watch Dogs, the whole debacle where the people found the E3 textures and oh, why weren't those used and stuff? Is it because
People
it had to be
found the E3 textures within the game?
You didn't know about that?
The whole thing about they can use them now and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole mod that came out.
Yeah, it's not even a
They
sub.
showed examples. This isn't the
Yeah,
large
this is what
example.
happens when you have to make cross-gen still. It's held
Yeah.
back. Even me playing Final Fantasy 14, I got to bring that up in GT time. Part of this functionality of that game is held back because it still has to support PS3. And they've even said at some point we're going to abandon PS3s so that we can the game won't be held back anymore.
What functionality in particular?
Well, one example was something so simple as the inventory size.
Yeah.
It can only be so big, and everybody's like, man, I'm filling up my inventory. How do I keep this? It's because they have to be careful of the PS3.
No
And then,
way.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would make me angry.
So they did change it so you can display more on screen, but they haven't increased the capacity. But then when they were asked about as soon as we can drop PS3 support, we'll expand the inventory and stuff.
That's going to be 2 years from now, though.
If that, who knows?
Yeah.
But that
That's
going
a
back
good
to the
example.
topic, this is a good example of don't hold the prime game back while you're making the secondary game to cater to people who still haven't adopted the current gen system.
Yeah, I was a little cynical in my assumption that they're doing this for a marketing scheme, but I actually kind of agree that yes, this is more beneficial to any of us that do have a PS4 or an Xbox One and want a good quality game. You changed me, Damiani.
Yeah, it's rare that we're all pretty happy with the game announcement. I'm pretty excited that we
being
got one.
said, two of
Uh-oh.
them coming out. They're coming out at the same time, right?
2 weeks later.
So what Daniel
Rogue
just
comes
said, his concern about review, you can't do both. As a consumer, it's spread these out. I don't want them at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
If you do have both systems, not for the
why can't one of them be out in September?
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
the next
matter.
one out in November.
Like
Something like
360,
that.
yeah.
Because they want them both to be holiday games.
Well, it's because
Ubisoft
it's
wants
the
it.
cynical least time. It's the
Yeah,
marketing thing.
that's exactly
They
what it
are
is.
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe they don't want you to.
Yeah, that's it.
They're
They're saving money on the marketing budget.
Yeah.
They're going to advertise them both alongside each other.
I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't think there will be any commercials that mention both the games in the same title. At least not on TV.
What if you?
Or they may not really do much advertising push for Rogue at all. Just people will walk in and say "Oh,
New
I
Assassin's
want the
Creed
new Assassin's Creed." I was like, "Oh, it's not. This one's not on PS3. Well, there is a new one on PS3. Okay, I'll get that one."
Yeah.
That kind of weirdness.
I think you get the cool one, though. You get the one with the Templar.
But not if you don't have a. Oh, well, you
Yeah.
get
That kid.
What
don't
about
even-
all the people that just like the boats? Is the boats only?
If you love
boats,
boats-
are probably only on the
Yeah,
360
they
PS3
absolutely
one.
are. Yeah, go Rogue if you want the boats.
But we don't know. We don't know enough about Unity.
Yeah. You know what's weird to me? Before we move on, one last thing. It's just how they don't even talk about the stuff where the Animus stuff for any of these games. It's still going to be a surprise.
Well, they've said that they're kind of refoundationing or whatever, rebuilding the foundation of that. So it's going to be easier for people to jump in this time without knowing all of this other backstory.
Okay. Good. It's, I just want to be a pirate. I don't want to be a dude who's pretending to be a pirate in a machine.
Yeah. Some of that tone got weird.
That stuff kills
But
me.
anyways.
Because I'm already a dude pretending to be a pirate. That's
You're a
the
dude
reality.
pretending to be a dude pretending to be a pirate.
Right, and then it's just people are well, it makes sense for the gameplay, it explains the gameplay. Then why am I suddenly controlling the dude then? Then all of that explaining the gameplay is gone when I have to control the dude while it kills me. It really kills me. We got to move on. This is... I always get excited when this show first started. I used to walk around and say, "Hey, is there any news stories you want to talk about this week?" And most of the time, Damiani would say, "No, I don't care." But then this week he said, "I want to talk about this on GT Time." So I'm really excited to introduce this next news story. Nintendo announces retailer-specific DLC for Hyrule Warriors, meaning if you buy it at this store, you get this. If you pre-order it at this store, you get this. Damiani, what makes you upset about this?
It means that the only way. So, like, start off by saying DLC is this is optional costume DLC, so it's not important.
Yeah.
That being said, if you know anything about Zelda fans, costume DLC that they're offering is a big deal to them because they want to look like the certain Link. I want like Ocarina of Time Link, or I want Twilight Princess Link, or I want Skyward Sword Link. Like the look of Link is like kind of important to some people, and Zelda as well.
Maybe we'll get Pixel Link with 500 Club Nintendo coins.
That would be kind of funny, actually.
That'd be cool.
Zelda 2 Link.
Play as Pixel
So the
Link.
thing is, the only way to get them day one or within the immediate future, so far as we know, is to go to each retailer and buy a copy, get that code, and then either sell off the extra copies you get or try and do, the whole like, they give you the print off for the code and you hold on to that and then you return the game, that type of crap that people do, the GameStop sometimes, to just get the pre-order bonus and then not have to pay for it. It seems like, that's the only way to get it right away. And then at some point, they're going to sell that DLC individually. So you'll be able to get it at some point. You just have to wait for it, which that's not too bad. But I guess the difference is, from my understanding, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but in Japan, if you buy the treasure box, there's two special editions and the regular edition in Japan.
3 versions of this game.
The really special edition, the one that comes in a treasure chest, I think you get all of the DLC with that because you're already paying like X amount of money. You get that, and then the collector's edition below it, I think you get some of the DLC, but it's only being sold through like Amazon and then something City. It's the Tecmo Koei's store or whatever that they sell on. So they're not doing like the different vendor things.
Did you buy the treasure chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it hasn't been paid for yet.
Right.
Says it
Like, obviously, yeah.
Obviously,
okay, so here's the thing.
bought the treasure chest.
So the issue is there should be one place you should just like get it. If you pay for a special edition at a place, you should Nintendo should just give you all the DLC. Like this sucks that you have to they're giving it to different retailers, and they've done this with other games before. Like buy it here, you get this code. Buy it
But
there.
now it's come home.
Yeah.
It's come home to
It's
Damiani.
I guess it's more annoying and stupid than it's not a real issue. It's more just stupid and annoying to people who do care about it. And at the same time, that stuff's going to be sold later. So why not just sell it immediately? Oh, it's because if you sell it immediately, then I don't have to buy it at Amazon, or I don't have to buy it at
Right,
GameStop,
it's the retailer
or
pressure.
don't have to go to
That's
Best
exactly
Buy.
right. Yeah.
It's just the retailers putting pressure on them. And I think it's more the physical retailers like Best Buy and GameStop. It's like, we still need to matter. Give us DLC so we can compete with Amazon, so people don't pre-order on there because all these pre-order bonuses always go to Amazon. Give us some leverage, some bargaining power here to get people to come.
Well, yeah. And plus, they probably a little bit more in a space of
But-
leverage with how the Wii U's doing.
Yep.
So it's like, you want us
Right.
to sell your Wii U games? Well, give us the pre-order bonus. Give
Exactly.
us a skin.
Nintendo could do whatever it wanted during the Wii's generation. It could cross its arms and say, "You come to us," and it's in a very different position today.
This is the real issue.
If you had the option of one free pre-order bonus or the entire pack that you would pay for in a special edition, what would you do?
So can I be honest about this DLC? This is going to be a little weird, and then we'll get to the real issue with Damiani. So I know this game takes place in a bizarre universe that's non-canon, but I still want to play
think?
in the canon costumes of its universe. So to me, it's weird to play as Ocarina Link within this weird world. I don't want any of this character DLC. These weird costumes. I just want to be, I want Link to have his stupid scarf and Zelda to have her weird new costume that's got more armor than ever. So that's my opinion. I don't want any of it. But Damiani,
you're
what's
close
the real
to the real
issue?
issue there.
What's the real
Sort of.
issue?
None of this should be paid DLC. It's all crap. These costumes should just straight up be rewards for doing stuff in the game.
No, weapons should be rewards.
All that should be rewards.
Costumes is my favorite kind of DLC.
No, this stuff used to be free.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's why I said
you walk into a chest and you get this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's why I said my argument. It's like more stupid and frustrating. It's not a real problem because you're paying for something that's part of the larger problem, which is the stuff used to be rewards. And Nintendo was like the king for a long time of preserving or sticking to their guns with, we're not going to give you DLC. Like, we're not going to be like Sony and Microsoft and be evil and like make you pay for costumes, or Capcom with all their fighting games. Like, no, if you like stick it out because we don't have achievements and crap, but if you like 100% this game, or you beat the Wind Waker that you love so much, Kyle, when you play a new game, you get like the outset get up, which is cool. But imagine if Nintendo was like Wind Waker HD, it's like, we're removing that feature, and once like we're gonna add the outset island set, for $3.99, so Link can look like he did in the GameCube version when you beat the game.
But at the present time, we're not paying for it. They're free pre-order bonuses. I know there's the expectation that they might come out in a pay pack at some point, but Nintendo is giving us like 3 free Mercedes cars in Mario Kart.
I'm pretty sure Mercedes is paying for us to get those cars.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think if Nintendo at the moment is doing all this free DLC to kind of make people feel comfortable with the idea of Nintendo DLC, it's smart, and
they're just easing us into it?
Into the mindset, and there will be paid DLC in the future. But, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think these should be part of the internal game.
At least that was basically my next question, is do you think that they're starting this character DLC, this retailer-based DLC for the first time because it's this weird crossover game that's not even completely a Nintendo game? Or do you think every game going forward will have some sort of implementation like this?
I don't think every game will, but I think that Nintendo, with their like past ideologies, and like they were very firm about, we're not going to do paid DLC, they've kind of changed their opinion because I guess of whatever the state of the company or whatever the direction of the industry, and it's clear that they are going to be more focused on DLC. And it may be the kind of thing where here and there right now when a game it fits, we'll get DLC for it, and they'll do that with some of their flagship titles. But ultimately they will transition to a paid DLC model. I don't doubt it.
The Bayonetta costumes are free, right?
Those are free.
With that.
The weirdo
Those are
Princess
good.
Peach.
Yeah.
It's like an evil witch luring you with her apple.
I really like Elisa's theory. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not free for them to make those costumes, right? They're putting work into it.
Nothing in the game is free for them. Like everything costs money. It's just whether or not that stuff was like ready to go. I think this is the inherent issue with when it comes to like the whole DLC argument with like what you're paying for. Is that certain games that when I think it started with free to play, when they started doing microtransactions for superficial stuff, and people saw the value, and the company saw the value in, wow, fans like customization, they like this, and they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And then other games that traditionally already offered that, and I was part of it, they're like, wait, we can make more money if we start doing this, because look, these like random free to play games that like had like no legacy to them, like we have like huge fan bases, they will totally pay for this stuff. And they got big, but before that, DLC, when it first started, like it was the next step of like expansions. Like you paid for a significant content update, and DLC is like, all right, well now it's digital. You don't have to go out to a store and buy like the physical expansion of this game. Just pay like $15 and download the extra content. Like,
no, The Sims is notorious, right? Like you buy a box full of like freaking housewares or something.
Yeah.
Like new missions, new story content, new maps, like that type of stuff. I think is, to an extent, is worthy of being paid for, and that's like within my personal acceptable. Okay, that was stuff maybe you couldn't fit into the original game. Like we spent an extra 2 months after we completed the core game to make this extra chapter of the game that we originally didn't plan. I think the problem came to a head with Capcom when on this DLC it's like, you're bullshitting us. This shit is done. You didn't spend any extra time on this. It's done. And you're trying to justify us paying extra money for this because, this wasn't originally planned. You weren't going to get this. It's like on the disc. Oh, really? It's already on there. Like, good try. Nice try. Spell check.
They were mostly done. Their cutscenes were done. The characters were not complete.
So that's where it goes. That's where the real issue is. It's like people feel betrayed when this type of superficial shit is like paid for. But very thankful that it doesn't gone into the realm of affecting gameplay just yet.
Because that's
the
actually
line they can't cross.
That's the free to play model when you pay to make the game move faster, or you pay to get a weapon or item sooner.
For a lot of them,
that's
they
why
do that.
like I don't mind if like costumes cost money because then I can ignore it. I don't want that costume. You know, it's something I don't need. And so, like, if you make a costume money, good for you because I'm not going to buy it. I'm okay with that. But, like, if it's a weapon, if it's make this game move faster, then I get outraged.
Or it could be the Borderlands model where it's like, oh, pre-order and get the gold weapons, and then you look at these gold weapons all suck after like 20 minutes in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. You're right. That is so pointless.
Or you're paying $99 for the like unlimited pack in Kim Kardashian Hollywood, and you don't know what you're doing with your life.
Is that a thing? It costs $99?
Yeah, there's some thing where you can spend like $100 to get some massive DLC pack in that game.
Yeah.
That game is
I wish
I think it is
Rob
brilliant.
Slusser had been able to do that episode. Oh well.
Really? I turned my phone off.
This is a sick ringtone, though.
This is like
From someone who claimed to
oh
not.
wow!
What?
It's Reggie Fils-Aimé.
What's he got to say? Pick up.
He told me I need to stop talking about Nintendo DLC.
Oh, he got mad?
He's like,
Reggie was getting
Donnie,
mad.
stop it.
That's one of the best ringtones I've ever heard. That's so good.
Luigi's Mansion? Yeah, I heard that. What was I going to say about one thing I want to defend on? Because
Okay.
people probably might call me out on it, like, so, oh, Damiani, you're paying for like the Japanese like collector's edition because there's all the DLC. Like, no, I buy that because I want to actually collect that. Like
Yeah.
that treasure chest thing is never being opened. Like I keep that for like my personal collection. I want to have like an extensive
So
like
you're
collection
buying
of Zelda
another
stuff.
Japanese copy, and then you're buying the English copy?
Yeah, because I'm like, so let me explain this. You might think this is crazy. Buying the treasure,
long tangents this
treasure box edition is the one that'll stay sealed.
Yes.
Never will be opened.
Yeah.
Part of my like collection of like cool Zelda shit.
Of everything.
Of trying to.
Yes.
Not everything.
Nearly complete.
Then hopefully we'll get this is a standard edition Japanese copy for us to play through.
Yep.
Which we'll have fun with. And then later on, I'll get the English version. But like the English version, I likely will not get like the DLC and stuff like that on that because it's all crap. Whatever the Japanese version comes with, like I'll be like happy to play with and stuff.
So you're not going to buy any of that DLC?
No, the
Cool.
Japanese version's the one. Whatever it comes with, like that'll be good enough for me. And I know at some point, like maybe they'll be smart and be like, here they're all free. Here you go. Just have them.
No, that will never happen.
Yeah, well, at one point it will.
I don't think that will ever happen.
It will. Nintendo eShop thing will be like free for a week only. All the Hyrule Warriors DLC costumes.
What? That has never happened for any game ever.
That'll happen.
All
And
right.
Nintendo's never really been part of the DLC market, so we don't know.
We don't know.
Didn't
You're
they
right.
do it for Fire Emblem? Like they had an initial free period, and then this paid stuff. Eventually, like they did like a day, like this is free or something.
Man, I would have hopped on
I
that.
thought they've done stuff
It wasn't
like that
everything
before.
is
No,
free
not
today.
everything, but
Yeah.
they did certain things were free,
Okay, they might have.
or they do like super discounts.
Fire Emblem DLC is weird. It's a weird web. But let's move on. We got a weird story.
Okay.
Great story.
Actually, you know what? What's weird about this story is it's getting not weird. Evolve was delayed
Oh.
till February. Evolve was going to be one of the big hits of this fall. It won a lot of Best of E3 awards, and very suddenly, it's been delayed out of the fall.
Because there was a whole gap thread talking about the alpha that nobody was supposed to talk about.
So were there people talking about it?
Oh, there's a whole, like I said, there's a whole thread about it. They were even talking about the fact that they weren't supposed to be talking about it.
And I mean, if it was on NeoGAF,
Leaks.
you can guarantee that the people working on Evolve were reading that thread.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And what was it not? I mean, can we talk about that thread as people who weren't in the
None
alpha?
of us were in the alpha.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Can we talk about that?
But I mean, I haven't kept up like on the whole thread or anything.
Well,
I just skimmed
what-
it a couple of times.
Was it in bad shape?
No, I mean, I think the I didn't really hear anyone like giving off specific impressions, but that's what's weird about it. Everyone was talking about the alpha without talking about the alpha. So, but yeah, I don't know why it would have been delayed. I didn't hear anything specifically bad with it. Actually, when I heard somebody, like I was in a cab when somebody like was going through their phone and read that headline, it's like, what Evolve got delayed? Yep. So it was a total surprise to me.
Yeah. I mean, it is a total surprise. It seems late notice, but this is one of many delays. I want to do a short list of games that have been delayed out of this fall. Battlefield Hardline, for who knows why. The Order 1886, Batman, Arkham Knight, and The Witcher 3, and now Evolve. So those are 5 huge games that are just like, well, we can't get it done in time. Like, What's going on? Is that abnormal? Does this actually happen every month or every year, and I'm just feeling it more because we're having a dry year?
Probably feeling it more because it's dry year. Call of Duty. Gotta get out of the way of Call of Duty.
What about it?
Everyone gets out of the way of Call of Duty.
I
I'm
don't
kidding.
think
That was the old joke.
Right.
Like everything got delayed to this
Because
Q1.
they were scared of Call of Duty? Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure Evolve had more
Yeah.
buzz than Call of Duty this year. I mean, it probably still wouldn't have sold as well, but yeah, it's. I think too with the, I don't know, it's still being fairly fresh on this console cycle that people, there's not as much of an audience to capture. And so you don't want to go out there and have kind of like a lukewarm reception. You want to be able to hit it big and put your best side forward because, you have to deal with the limited audience on these projects.
Are you talking about the Kojima tactic of saying, I won't release Metal Gear Solid 5 until there's a decent amount of PlayStation 4 sold?
No, I don't mean that, but I'm like, you don't have as much incentive to like rush out there, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to rush out there and I'm going to put out something that people are going to talk badly about, and then all these people are going to buy a PlayStation 4 for Christmas are going to skip my game because, of whatever issues that we still wanted to work out.
Yeah, normally I would say that's valid, but I think Watch Dogs single-handedly disproved that. I think Watch Dogs sold very well on 8th gen consoles.
But they had a huge delay. They had like a 6-month delay.
And they scammed us, as we learned this GT time.
What do you mean they scammed us?
She's talking about the E3 texture thing.
Oh, yeah, they did scam us. Man, that's so funny. They're just hidden in there?
Yeah.
Is it a free patch, or do you have to hack it?
They had to hack it.
Found it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the guys said that like there are various reasons that they didn't have those things implemented. So I mean, there's multiple sides of that story.
Right, because
Whatever.
it's all about testing across various things and balancing. Yeah, I get it. We feel scammed. But anyway, Watch Dogs sold ridiculously well. But you're right, it was delayed like 4 times, right? It was delayed ridiculously. It was supposed to be a launch title even. It just seems weird to me. It seems like nobody was ready for this generation.
I think Evolve, though, it's still going to be competing with Destiny in September, and February was a really, really optimal month for releases last year. Like Titanfall, Dark Souls 2, Towerfall did huge.
Yeah.
Came out in that month. So maybe it's just a strategic, this is the time of year when this will do its best. And
well, the thing is with February, March, is that's the last chance before fiscal hits. So they can delay something out of holiday and still have it in their fiscal for that year.
That's very interesting.
And sometimes I think we look at delays now as a negative thing. I know I know how you feel about the game, but when BioShock Infinite was repeatedly delayed and everybody pointed to, there are problems happening there, Ken Levine's a tyrant or all this stuff, I thought that game was amazing, and I would have given it, 6 more months to be delayed if it came out with that kind of quality.
Yeah, I'd say that game could use a few more delays.
Yeah. Indefinite delays. My bad.
Not indefinite, but figure your game. We're not going to talk about BioShock Infinite, but
Or maybe since these developers are developing for a new console, they aren't their projections for how long they'll take are actually wrong because they're not accustomed to developing for these consoles. I don't know. I wish I knew what the reasons were. I'd love to know.
I guess what was exciting for me about the time where the PlayStation 4 was first announced was when they said, and development will be super easy for the PlayStation 4. We'll see much quicker development cycles and things like that.
Delay.
Yeah, and then we see a bunch of delays. I mean, including, the Order to me feels like a big delay for Sony because they're going to have basically fewer games this fall.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. From people I've been talking to and stuff, there seems to be more focus from people at the top in terms of quality. So, people want to make sure that, these games get out there and that they're actually of a high quality and a good reputation. So, I think that's what's playing into it. They especially after what happened with Battlefield 4 last year and that kind of thing, people don't want to have these games out there and just say, oh, patch it later. Although they'll probably still do that.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that they hit with a good buzz.
No, you're right. Good for EA for delaying Battlefield. Good for going game first. That was a game first decision, which I think is pretty cool.
What's interesting to me is what you said about Kojima. He's going to wait until more people have a PS4.
Yeah.
I feel like that mentality has flipped so much because like PS3 struggled, but then it had like games that were console sellers. And this generation, it doesn't really seem like people are operating that way.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
the idea of a console seller is bizarre.
Like
right.
People were buying, you know, for Gran Turismo 5, they were buying a PS3. For Metal Gear 4, they were buying a PS3.
Yeah.
But is that trend gone? Like, is that...
I think it's absolutely gone. Based on like sales of the PlayStation 4 so far. It's like, what is that game that sold the PlayStation 4? There isn't one singular game. People just want a cool console to play lots of video games on, I feel like. Michael Damiani. He's stroking his chin. He's doing the nod. What's going on? What's going on in your mind?
I agree with that. I don't think the concept of like a system seller like almost feels like a crapshoot sometimes. That what you think would be a system seller, like it'll still sell like a lot of copies, but doesn't move a lot of like systems.
Right.
And I think we talked about last week. Like I think Mario Kart 8.
Right.
Sold a lot of copies, but didn't move a lot of new Wii U's.
Right.
And before, like if you looked at last generation, it'd be like, oh man, Mario Kart Wii was a system seller. Look how great Wii was selling, and look how many copies of Mario Kart Wii were sold. Like, you know, millions, lots of millions of copies. And now you look at it like, oh, it's selling multiple millions, but Wii U's aren't like following suit there. So, I mean, is that just times have changed, or maybe people misread the data last time?
I think it's that. It's right. Like nobody spends multiple hundreds of dollars for only one reason. It's always a multitude of reasons.
I feel like there's like a few phases with like consoles. It's like how much hype and like can you build up leading into the launch of a console in the public eye. Like this is a have to have system. Don't have to have any reason for it other than like word of mouth and buzz. Like people just are in a frenzy because you got to get it. I think that's what happened with Wii last generation. Like people could point to Wii Sports all they want. I think that helped sustain it a little bit more. But I think it was just like the buzz that Nintendo magically was able to create with like the mass media and like the average consumer. Like, oh, what is this Wii thing? Oh, my friends are talking about it.
Yeah,
like that's it. That's what you want.
That's
and,
impossible.
And no
that's
one
impossible
game
to,
is. I think is going to get that for you in general. Like rare exceptions to that, and I don't think you have any control over if that's going to happen or not.
So I want to talk about the fall. I want to talk about what's left in the fall.
Yeah.
Bloodworth and I were like having a conversation. We were struggling to come up with games we're excited about for this fall. So I want to do a list of the huge games of the fall for Xbox One and PS4. We're looking at Destiny, Alien Isolation, Dragon Age Inquisition, Assassin's Creed Unity, Far Cry 4, Sunset Overdrive, Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, and then maybe...
Progressively thicker accent.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I really don't. Master Chief Collection, Evil Within, Forza Horizon 2, Drive Club, those are others. But like that's what we're looking at. That's our huge fall. You know, this is the time where we're normally like, oh, my backlog, too many games. Are these too many games, or is that pretty manageable?
I mean, it's still a lot of games, but there's nothing there that just like I'm super looking forward to. Actually, the funny thing is I've never been into Dragon Age, and like this time I was like, oh, maybe Dragon Age.
I feel that same way. I don't know what that is. I honestly have no idea what that is. I'm going to be playing it too. What's with us?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it actually looks interesting this time.
Yeah, and I guess like along that list, like that's the only game where we could just get to like carry a sword and be an adventurer, right? Like that's it. Far Cry 4 maybe might be huge. I mean, we still have seen very little of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Far Cry 4 isn't that big of a step up differently, you know, from 3, like gameplay-wise and all that. I mean, there's new things, but it still feels, you know, very much in that same vein. But I think it'll be a great game. I think that, you know, after what we've seen with like those behind-the-scenes documentaries and stuff, that, you know, hopefully it will, you know, have a little bit more of a punch to it and be more fun to explore.
Than Far Cry 3?
Yeah.
A little more of a punch to it. What do you mean by that?
I mean, Far Cry 3, you know, it had some weirdness in terms of its tone and story, and if you read the intentions of the story, like it just makes it make even less sense. And
what were the intentions of Far Cry 3?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, okay. Why? Is that a whole thing?
Yeah, it's a whole weird thing.
Okay.
So.
All right, we won't get into it, but we're hoping that Far Cry 4 is more consistent and focused, I guess, in its punchiness.
Yeah. And, you know, and another thing that was really kind of weird with 3 was until they patched it, like when it originally came out. Like once you started like clearing all the bases and stuff, which was the most fun part about that game, was like learning like how a base was laid out and figuring out how to tackle it your own way.
Yeah.
Then eventually, by the time you got to the end of the game, then the whole game was just there's no enemies anywhere.
Because you own the island.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they had to patch in like a way to like have those respawns so that you could still actually have something to do once you had powered yourself up.
Oh man.
So.
I wish I had that. I like it when it bothers me so much where it's like, we lost control of our little base over here. It's like, what do I have to go help you, and then I have to go and retake the base, and they patched that in because people were complaining about it.
Yeah, I mean, because
I want to own the island.
I forget exactly how it worked.
Okay.
But
Elise, what are you excited about?
Alien Isolation is going to be a crapshoot. It's either going to be incredibly amazing or it's going to be highly disappointing.
That's
Yeah,
true. I mean,
that is very true.
You
You're
probably
right.
will not have a middle ground on
There's
that
a lot
game.
to gain or lose with that one. Yeah.
And it's going to draw in people that like maybe don't necessarily like game a lot anymore, but they're huge Alien fans, and they're like, this is the kind of Alien game I want. Sunset Overdrive, I'm excited for because I love those kind of like spastic, just.
Sunset Overdrive, I would like to be excited for.
Blood has anti-hype for Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, the multiplayer thing at E3 did not sell me, and then hopefully the single player is better. Like I would like to, zip around a crazy world and ride up roller coasters and all this stuff, but the way it felt in multiplayer, where it was just like having to go back and forth on a telephone wire and just keep guys from attacking whatever we were defending. Yeah, that wasn't too fun.
Yeah, I have to see. I have no idea how that's going to turn out either. And then Assassin's Creed Unity, I like the setting,
Okay.
the Reign of Terror, and
And you're in it.
yeah.
There's an Elise.
There's a character named Elise.
And then I was excited for Evolve, but
It's gone.
it's gone.
Yeah, a lot of people were excited for Evolve.
I was very excited for Evolve, and I don't usually get into multiplayer only stuff.
Damiani's our toughest nut to crack. I don't know if that's a phrase.
Okay. Does it need to
Toughest
be?
egg to crack?
Do we need?
Are you
No,
a tough
tough
egg?
nut.
You're a tough nut?
Tough nut. And also looking at Don, because Don's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We-
Tough
we-
nuts,
we-
Michael
yeah.
Damiani. Is there any games that I listed off of that list that you will play? To those listening, he smiles and shakes his head no.
What are there games that aren't on that list that you're
Yeah.
excited about?
So here's the other thing.
Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors and Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
And Bayonetta 2 are coming to the Wii U. To me, those games are more exciting than a lot of what was listed just then.
Well, not Hyrule Warriors, but the other two. Yeah.
Ooh. The hype that some people might have for Smash Bros. That hasn't hit me just yet.
Okay.
I think it's mostly because now the realization set in that the 3DS version is coming out first, and I'm not at all sold on the 3DS version.
Nope.
Yeah. It's gutter trash.
So that, and then the more I play of the Wii U version, the less I'm because they keep playing the same demo. They haven't changed it since E3, so
Right.
the chances I've had to play it's always been the same thing. So that might have something to contribute to it, but I'm just not super excited about either version of that game just yet. So I don't know about that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the chance that game might not come out this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Why they released
absolutely
why
a
is the
chance.
3DS version coming out so late? When they said summer, then it's all of a sudden no, that's
I
not summer.
think there's no way it's not coming
No,
out this
they
year.
can't afford to not have it come
Right.
out, but
They
there's
will rush
always
it.
the chance that it could.
They'll say
happen.
these four
It
characters
does not
are
have a
coming.
release date.
It does not have a release date,
Yeah.
but the release is in 2014.
Because they're working on the clothes.
Oh,
They're going to give
gosh.
us
The physics, the clues.
pre-order bonus.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
that's an interesting side question. Will Smash Bros. Have DLC?
Items and stuff.
Yeah. Will you be able to pay for things within
Yeah.
Smash Bros? Sakurai said no,
They
no
don't
way.
know.
But who
They
knows?
might just give you
I think amiibos
free.
are the DLC for Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I think that's their solution.
Yeah, for whatever weird reason, I don't think they will on
Yeah.
the Wii U version.
So what you're saying to me
But-
is you will play 0 games this fall other than Final Fantasy 14.
Let's see. Well, Hyrule Warriors will have.
He's
but
gonna play
that's
some
already
games.
going to be
I'm
done.
gonna make sure of it.
That's now.
That's done before fall, yeah.
And then Tales of Exilia 2 is now.
Yeah.
So I'm reviewing that,
Yeah.
playing through that, and that's August 19th. So that's kind of already done.
Yeah.
What else? Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
I think I will play that.
Cool.
What else is coming out?
He's gonna do a full run through with the Peach costume.
I don't know what's up with the Captain Toad. It's been delayed everywhere else. I don't know about here. I don't think
it might be delayed.
Probably
here.
not coming out this year here. So I was a little bit excited for that one. And sadly, Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD remix.
Don't be sad about
That's
that.
December.
You're right. I should have brought that up. That's a legit game.
Because Kingdom Hearts 2 is the one I played the least of. Even like the time I don't think I've actually I've not played from start to end like in a linear fashion. I think I've started at different points with save files in that game, and I've played the whole game that way, but I've never played it from start to finish.
That's funny.
So I think I need to do that.
I think it'll be cool
I'm
to
the
play
least
today.
familiar with Kingdom Hearts 2.
I kind of had that weird experience with Borderlands 2, where because of the the way the co-op multiplayer works.
Oh yeah. You skip ahead a lot.
It was like, a bunch of reviewers were playing it. I was kind of a slowpoke, and the guy's like, "All right, we're gonna go beat the game." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I jumped in there, party. I skipped ahead a couple of hours from where I was, and then later on went back to where I was and caught up.
Borderlands 2 does not have a Lion King level, so it's still pretty legit game. To people who just listen, who only listen to this, when I said that Kingdom Hearts 2 is a legit game, Blood gave me
2.5.
He gave me the expression that I was a silly child. It wasn't anger. It wasn't no, you're wrong. It was, oh, you're a silly child. Blood, you don't think Kingdom Hearts 2.5 is a legit game?
It's another remake.
Yeah, I guess it's no more legit than any other games.
You're getting content that wasn't available here before.
Oh, here we go. What are we getting?
Because you're getting Kingdom Hearts 2
International Edition?
If you want to call it that. Yes,
Yeah.
you're getting that.
So
there
boss
are other ways.
fights.
There are other ways to technically get it, but this is gonna be the easiest way. For
Well, don't
people
use
to
the word
get that.
content. What do you actually get?
Like the extra bosses.
So it's boss
and there's
fights.
more story stuff.
Oh.
The whole bone. Remember we when game trailers was all about trailers, like that super secret Japanese CG video in Kingdom Hearts. Where
Absolutely.
the hell did this come from? This
yeah.
wasn't in my game.
Yeah.
That was where you got it. It was completing
Right.
all that content. And someone got the video recorded you got a really crappy AVI file, threw it up on some old file sharing site. Probably I don't know which one.
Speaking of remakes, this goes into our next news story, right?
Yes, thanks, Blood, again
remake.
for doing transitions for us. I was actually going to skip it because we're running pretty late, but let's talk about it. Let's do it. Resident Evil Remake has been announced for 7th and 8th gen consoles. You can get it on PC, you can get it on PlayStation 3, you can get it on PlayStation 4, you can get it on Xbox 360, Xbox One, no Nintendo consoles, despite the original remake being on GameCube.
That was a great troll right there.
Quickly, do we love this news or do we hate this news?
I'm fine with it as long as they don't make a huge deal out
You're
of
right,
it.
listen to me being sensationalist. It's like love or hate. You can absolutely be in between. The thing is, I love this news. It seems weird timing. It seems like this is something they should have done 10 years ago, or 5 anyway. But cool. Where did this come from?
Capcom has no money.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, what can we do that's
my
extremely cheap to make some money real quick? The fans really want Resident Evil 2 HD.
I don't think it's going to be that cheap.
Yeah, they want Resident Evil 2 HD, but we never redid that one, so that's expensive. What about Resident Evil 1? We redid that for GameCube.
This is a meeting you're assuming they had.
Yeah, it's like, why can't we just take we drew those backgrounds? They're probably higher resolution than what the GameCube had, but we had to scale them down. They probably exist as bigger than that, than 4.3. We have those already. Why don't we just touch them up a bit, touch up the models? Oh, let's give them modern controls as well as the tank controls, and we'll make a big deal about it.
It is a big deal.
And we're gonna put it out and we're gonna sell it, and they'll cost us not too much money, and it's only being released digitally except for the PS3 version in Japan. Is that right, Huber?
Mike Huber's on
Yes,
camera.
Huber's the other RE
Oh, that's
expert.
that's kind of standard practice.
Yeah,
they put
so
a lot of
they're
games out on disc in Japan.
Yeah, they don't have to do the whole packaging, physical cost thing. And they're gonna be
why are you so cynical? This is a good thing. This is a great thing.
Because I forgot this while Ben Moore actually had to remind me. I was cool. I was oh, it's been over a decade since Remake, so this actually will be cool because, believe it or not, some people probably haven't played Remake because they never had a GameCube or didn't play on a Wii, and Ben's they put it on Wii. I'm they did? I thought they only put RE4. He's no, Resident Evil 1 came out on Wii as well. I'm oh, that was only last gen, so people have a way to like play it like pretty
Yeah, I didn't
easily.
know that.
Right?
That's
If you have a
interesting.
Wii U, you could play Resident Evil Remake right now. So I was like, oh, then
But you're
this.
still playing it in 4:3.
Yeah,
60.
I mean,
Yeah.
so at this point, it's like, do you really care? Like, it looks great on GameCube on like an old TV. So it's just, do you need to like play it again?
Not all of us have like GameCubes and
Yeah.
old TVs just sitting around, Mike.
Well, they're putting
Yeah,
out.
sorry, Elise, are you pumped? Are you gonna play it?
But that's what he's saying. He's like, you can play the Wii version on a Wii U.
Yes,
And it
but
looks
for
pretty
me,
good.
it's like this. I scare really easily, and so the Resident Evil franchise is not really my cup of tea. But it's an interesting universe, and I've always wanted to be part of it. But,
Okay.
But
Wanna die?
I think that it would be playing it now as someone that hasn't been part of the franchise in an SD like 4.3
Hard to get
it'd be
into.
less scary.
Right. I get that.
But if they, if it's up-res and it has that more ominous like vibe, it'd be a lot scarier.
Yeah, they said they're adding 5.1 sound too.
So now you can be a part of their world.
So in
Well, in Disney.
theory, that sounds really good. But I don't know if you paid attention to like Capcom's Resident Evil updates in the past.
No,
like
what?
RE4 and RE4 HD edition.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that much better.
You're a cynic, Dami.
Oh,
Even on the
listen to
PC
this,
version,
cynic.
Oh, I
it's
know.
not that
Oh,
much.
man.
They don't put that much effort into these. They
That is
do
true.
a lot of talk.
Yeah.
How much better can those pre-rendered backgrounds get? They're not like models. They're like they're rendered. You don't do much to that. And the character models are pretty good. They're just gonna there's better aliasing on them now, so see jaggies on them. Ooh, like it's not like a 3D world that they're like improving. Like RE4, RE4 could have looked, whoa, holy shit. Like the PC mods that people have done make it look amazing. Like they did Capcom's job for them on that game. But like the old Resident Evils, I don't know how much you can do to them unless you fully, truly remake them in like 3D and try and preserve like the camera angle stuff, like and recreate the experience. But like creating 3D like environments. But do you really even need that for those types of games?
I don't think you should.
I don't think you should. And like the one thing I'll give them credit for is like we don't want to alter too much stuff because we don't want to mess with the game. Like a game's so good, we
Yeah.
don't want to mess with the atmosphere. We don't want to change that type of stuff. We just want to give you the same experience, which to me is like they're just giving you a few new options to make it look a little bit better. But it's not going to be this huge improvement to like the GameCube version or even the Wii version. So it's going to be a good excuse to go replay it again. But the amount of changes I think are going to be minimal, so it's not a big enough reason to get excited about.
I guess what's exciting is that it's an acknowledgement of, hey, this was one of our best games. We appreciate it.
Want to preserve it.
We want to preserve it.
No, they just want money.
And they want money, of course. We all want money.
They gotta fund that RE7.
And I think, honestly, I think it's like
Trailer
a
on the
little
disc.
bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Trailer
RE7 demo included.
And only on that one PS3 Japanese disc, because that's the only disc.
Yeah.
So let's end the show. Let's do our closing bet.
All right.
So this week, or I guess next week, Michael Damiani will be downloading the Japanese version of Hyrule Warriors so we can stream it.
If they fix our internet.
If they fix our internet in time. We'll be downloading it somehow. There's going to be some way that
We'll be
we're
able to do
downloading
that.
it.
That's actually who was calling me. I just realized.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
crap.
The internet people.
Okay. Well, they got to figure out their
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, anyway. What will the file size be of the Japanese version of Hyrule Warriors? I think it's actually my turn to pick to go first or last.
Okay.
I'll go first. 22 gigabytes.
What?
That big?
Yep.
It's a lot of worlds.
What?
Can I go next?
No, you don't get to pick when you go. It goes to Damiani.
So I can't defer.
You cannot
So
defer.
Elise really wants to go.
Yeah. Maybe we'll add some interesting rules later on.
So you guessed a whole number. They're never whole numbers.
No, but I'm not going to
Always
get it
fractions.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be different.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you went way too big, though. You know what? I'm going to troll.
Go ahead.
This is a famous score, a review score.
All right.
So I'm going to give it a 7.8.
Gigabytes.
Yes.
For those who are not aware of this legacy of the 7.8, that is the review score that Michael Damiani gave to Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Daniel Bloodworth, what is your bet?
800 megabytes.
800 megabytes?
Yeah.
Why do you smile as you say that?
I think he's just going with a really low
No,
one.
it's just
Oh.
I don't think it's gonna be this enormous game. So I think it'll be.
Oh, you don't know that Link has fully voice acted.
No, that's not true.
It's not true.
I thought he was going for a strategic bet because he thought we were all crazy.
It might be strategic,
I,
but at least
I do
comes
think
right
you
after.
guys are a little bit crazy.
Please.
For real.
What is your bet for Brandon? This
I'm
goes
gonna
to
win this
Brandon.
Bet for Brandon Jones.
Yep.
10 gigs.
10 gigs. That's a good bet.
Okay.
Look at Bloodworth. He's so confident about his 800 megabytes.
You're 22 gigabytes.
It's going to be 22. There's so much music in there. There's so much voice acting.
Yeah, music.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be
Megabytes.
so full.
10 megabytes
Yeah,
files.
yeah. That's going to be enormous. So let's talk about last week's bet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was also Hyrule Warriors oriented.
Was it?
Yeah, it was how many characters at this point will we know at the end of the Hyrule Warriors live stream? The answer was 14.
Damiani won.
No, I won. No, the answer is 13. My guess was 14, so I won that bet.
You don't do prices.
Right after the Nintendo Direct?
Yep.
Yeah.
There are 14. There are 13 known characters in that game. So here's what
Playable.
happened. Damiani acted all confident because he's like, I saw character trailer number 13.
Ganondorf.
But you didn't realize that there are several character trailers for several different weapons. So there's like Link with this weapon and Link with this weapon.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So there were actually 10 coming in, and they announced that you could play as Girahim, Zant, and Ganondorf, which gave me the win. And now I am tied with Michael Damiani with 5 points. Bloodworth still stands tall with 8 points. And then Brandon Jones has 1 point. So hopefully you helped him out this week at least.
I feel confident. I feel really good.
What are you upset about? What's going on?
No, I'm not upset at all.
Don't do that.
Oh,
Uh,
don't hit that.
Elise, why do you feel confident?
Well, you send out the meeting or the meeting itinerary, the podcast rundown.
Yep.
Before the show.
Yeah.
So I did see the question, and then I was scoping out some like previous Dynasty Warrior game file sizes. I
That's
cheated a
genius. That's not cheating. That's what
that's
that's what I
great.
expect everyone to do.
little. So I feel somewhat confident, but it'll probably come to bite me. But
It'll bite Brandon, if anyone.
yeah, just
Well.
resolve myself.
Next week,
Yep.
Gamescom. We'll be talking Gamescom news.
Oh, we'll have so much Gamescom news. It's gonna be a huge
We're
episode
gonna be
next
here
week.
in the middle of freaking night.
I'm really excited about
Yeah.
it. And then lots of press conferences to watch Tuesday.
Press
Streams,
conferences, Call of Duty.
news, sausages. Well, there's gonna be tons of stuff coming out of Gamescom. So we'll lock in those bets. Okay, the bets are locked in. Ready to close the show. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with this. I'm sorry that we went over an hour, but Damiani had a lot to say about Capcom again.
Okay.
So,
is happening?
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Here are our Twitter names: blah 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 blah. And please join us next week for a Gamescom-oriented episode. Oh, and I forgot to get a plug-in episode. Final bets. Huber and myself recorded another betting special, so please check that out if you're into just more of this dumb stuff that we put at the end of this show. It's just basically 24 minutes of only that. So thank you for watching. Thanks for watching in the future, in the past, and any other time you feel like watching. And hope to see you again. Bye.
Woo! I love the Xbox. 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 I love the Xbox.